machines to our workstation. We have three main methods to transfer the data. Firstly, we can import the data through the CD or DVD or hard disk. We can import the import file, this button, and click here and choose the button to transfer the data to our local station. And also, if we have already connected with the PACS system, we can click the PACS button and enter the item like the patient name or patient ID, then click the query, and all the information of the patients will be shown here. And we just need to right click and download the data to local workstation. For our workstation, if you have already received all the information here, first we need to select one of the patients which we want to analyze it. For example, if you want to analyze this patient bar, just double click, and there are several images. The first part is image selection. The principles of the image selection is we need to ensure the lesion part should be clear with less overlapping and less foreshortening. And we compare the different image and select one of the image to make the analysis. For example, if we want to analyze this one, we just need to click the Angio+ button and check the vessel type if it is correct. If it is correct, we click the confirm, and the systems will treat the lumen contour automatically. We can see for this image, the total frames is 64 frames, and the 38 frames is recommended of the keyframe for the analysis. And the key here means the keyframe, and you can scroll the mouse to compare the different frame. If there is another one you think is better for the analysis, you can set as the keyframe that makes the analysis. But if the frames recommended by the system is good enough, it's okay to use this one. After that, we need to check the control. We can zoom in and check the control if it is correct. If necessary, we can adjust the control manually. After that, we check the flow velocity. If the slope of the flow velocity is increasing uniformly, if it is okay and reflects the real situation from the beginning, there is a yellow central line to trace the contrast media from the proximal to distal part. And if it reflects the real conditions of the flow, we can use this flow for the calculation. After that, we click the next button, and the system will computing all the parameters within 20 or 30 seconds. Because this software based on the pixel information of the DICOM data, so we don't need to make the catheter calibration. And the frame rate is 50 frames per second. It will be better. But if you only have the 7.5 frame rate, we can also use that for the analysis. And here is the 2D analysis results. Because our software based on the Murray law, the first step we need to check if all the cell branch is added in a correct way. If the system misidentifies or over-identifies some cell branch, we can also adjust or remove the cell branch manually. And for the analyze part, we can check the parameter. This is the mean versus mean value, and the system identifies the three lesion parts, and the second one is the corporate lesion, most significant one. So the system puts a virtual stand automatically, and this is the length and the diameter of the lesion part, and the delta mu alpha is the value change if you put the virtual stand here, and what is the predict value. The residual mu alpha is the predict value for the final outcome, and if you put a virtual stand here, and the predict outcome is a 0.82. But if you put a larger stand, you can extend the virtual stand or put it in the different location. You can also think the predict value will also change. And if necessary, you can push the two virtual stand and to check if you want to put the one stand or put two shorter stands for the cases. It will help the physicians to optimize the strategy. In most of the cases, we can finish on this step, but if some doctors want to do the 3D analysis, we can click the 3D and click confirm, and the systems that will check the second image. It's similar steps as the previous. First, we need to select the one image with less overlapping, and click start point and the end point. Use this reference to check if these two images are matched. If they match, we can click next and the system will combine the two images together and get the 3D result. For the 3D, you can get more information about the lumen volume, and you can put the 3D stand here. And also, after that, you can click down and get the 3D analysis report for all the image and parameter. Let's go back to the cases from our hospital. We can see for the first cases, before the PCI, we checked it is the diffuse lesions for the LCX vessel. And for the default setting, the system thinks the distal lesion is the most severe one, but from the proximal part to the middle part, the right segment also shows that there are some lesion parts, but it is diffused and very long. If you only put the short stance for the distal part, the predict value of the final outcome may be 0.78. But if you want to put a longer stand and put the stand from the beginning to the end, to this part, and the predict values to maybe 0.9, and this may be a good value. And also, if we select the virtual stand for number 2, and you can put the two stands on different location, and to check if you put the two short stands on which locations, and the residual predict values will also change for the final result. In that case, if we only put one virtual stand, and from the proximal part to cover to the middle part, and check if the final outcomes, what is the final value. And we can see the predict value here is a 0.9. If we do the PSI strategy, like the put the stand here, and the stand length is around the 85, 45, and the predict values may be 0.9. And based on these cases, when we go back to the view of the post PCI, and we can check, we put the stand from the proximal part to the middle part to the distal part, and let's have a check for the post PCI analysis result. We can see the post result is 0.91. It's almost the same as the values that we predict before, and the predict value is 0.9. And we see for the post PCI, there is another very small analysis in the distal part, but the final post PCI values is good enough for the patient. So that's the cases of the LCX vessels analysis. But because in these cases, if necessary, we can also do the 3D analysis. Because for the post PCI, we only have the one case is just have the good view and the good qualities for the analysis. If you want to add the second one, it's quite difficult to find the second one to combine them together. So our software can based on the single image to make the analyze result. That's the main difference between our software and other competitors.